If you are struggling with adding fractions, subtracting fractions, or dividing with fractions, then I highly recommend learning how to multiply with fractions first, because this is the most straightforward process compared to the others. So you can see here, we multiplied 1/2 by 3/4, and we have gotten 3/8. How did this happen? Well, all we did was we just multiplied across. So we multiplied 1 and 3, and this gave us the 3 that was on top here. And then we multiplied 2 and 4, and this gave us the 8 that was down here. And to work with another example, let's say we had 2/3, and we wanted to multiply this with 4/5. Well, all we'd have to do is just multiply the tops and the bottom. So 2 times 4, that equals 8. And 3 times 5, this equals 15. And this would be our final answer. Now, what if we had addition, right? Say we were adding fractions. Say instead of that we had 2/3 and we wanted to add a quarter to it. So we wanted to add 1/4 to this. How would we do it? Well, we would actually wind up multiplying here as well. And what we'd have to do is we would have to multiply these two fractions in such a way that we had the same number on the bottom. How do we do that? Well, if we take a look at 3 and we take a look at 4, we could actually multiply 3 by 4 and 4 by 3 to get these to be equal, but we'd also have to think about the numerators as well. So I'm going to choose another color. Say we had purple, right? So I'm going to take 2/3 and I'm going to multiply this by 4/4. This would give me 8/12. And we could actually simplify this, but I'm going to leave it like this for now because we actually wanted the denominator to equal 12. And similarly, I'm going to take another color to deal with the 1/4. So I would take 1/4. I would multiply this by 3/3, and then this would give me 3/12. Right, and then I would add these together. I would actually add 8/12 and 3/12. So let's do that. So now we have 8/12. We want to add 3/12 to this. And when we add these together, we're only going to add what's on the top. So we're just going to add 8 and 3. That would give us 11. The 12 doesn't change because it's the denominator. And when you're adding fractions, you basically just want to get the same denominator for the two fractions that you're adding, but they don't actually get added together. So that stays as 12. And then 11/12 is our final answer there. The same process applies to subtraction. So let's say we had 5/6. We wanted to subtract this by 1/4. We would do something very similar. We would want to get the same denominator, and we would do this by multiplication. So if we were to multiply 6 by 2 and 4 by 3, that would also give us 12. But I'll show you. So we'll start with 5/6. So we'll bring that down here. So we'll take 5/6. We'll multiply this by 2/2. This is going to give us 10/12, and we won't simplify it because we actually want it to stay like this. And similarly, we'll take a look at 1/4. And we'll take this and we'll multiply this by 3/3. This would give us 3/12. And now we have the same denominators for both of these fractions here. So we can take them and we can add them together now. So we would take 10 over 12 and we would add 3 over 12 to it. This would give us 13 over 12, and this can't be simplified any further, so this is our final answer. Actually, wait, I made a mistake because we were subtracting, so we don't want to do that. Instead, we actually want to subtract them. So this would give us 7 over 12 as our final answer, and again, that can't be simplified, so it stays that way. I'm going to show you one more example, and this proves why you should learn how to multiply fractions before learning the other operations. Let's say we had 3 over 4, and now we wanted to divide this by 2 over 5. Well, the process for dividing fractions is mainly twofold. The first thing we would do is flip the second fraction. So we would take 2 over 5, we would flip it, and it would become 5 over 2. Then we would take the division sign, and then we would change it into a multiplication sign. Finally, what we had on the left, the fraction we had on the left, this doesn't change, so we just leave it as 3 over 4, and then we multiply across. So we would take 3, multiply it by 5, this gives us 15, and 4 times 2 equals 8. And we are left with 15 over 8 as our final answer. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. If you're interested in more tutorials related to mathematics, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you're interested in online tutoring, check out the description of this video. You may find something helpful.